Another simple evening last night. Nice profit and a very readable Europa League. On this occasion, I just went +1 because it was at odds of 2.12, which relative to the market, very good indeed. That tends to stop me going to the match odds, but in the match odds, Braga did win, and you'd have got yourself a very decent profit. That, for me, decent return. As I said the day before, 3 plays, 3 profits. If I could have one of these every day, I'd be absolutely delighted. Huge odds for Braga +1. Well done to Rangers. That's going to boost their season no end. That 2-0 win against Malmo. I didn't see anything from Malmo to take on the Rangers lead initially. Atletico Bilbao deserved the equaliser against Roma, but it's one of those matches. They're so well matched, these two. On paper, a 1-0 could suffice for Roma, so insurance possibly there. Eintracht Frankfurt, well, they were 3-1, like the research said, going for a 3-1 scoreline, but got it spot on with the over 2.5 goal play, didn't they? And I'll come to that afterwards. Lyon thoroughly deserved the win against Olympiacos, who I thought would be a lot more competitive, quite simply because they're Conference League finalists. The boys from Tottenham, exactly what you expect. I expect a goal before half-time as well. 12th minute, yeah. So if you were delaying for 15 minutes to try to get over 2.5 goals here, alas, not doing. Johnson wasn't reading the script. In La Liga, not much doing yesterday. I suppose a Betis equaliser was possible. Villarreal did deserve that win. Atletico Madrid, it's a first or second half goal. Could have laid the draw second half. That's very unconvincing. 90th minute, Julian Alvarez, winner. One of the big signings for Atletico Madrid, paying off big time. Julian Alvarez, Conor Gallagher, really eye-catching signings from Diego Simeone. His son playing on the left, of course, merited his position there, of course. On to today. It's when you see the likes of Dortmund, PSG, AC Milan on a Friday night, just take a peek next Tuesday, because it might be a Champions League week. Talk about Mystic Meg. There we go. So immediately, you're on the back foot this weekend with all of this lot. You saw last week, how many casualties did we have? Even on the Friday, we had 2 1-0 defeats for strong favourites who were involved in the Champions League. Saturday and Sunday, we saw a lot of these participants failing to win. Liverpool, the most famous of them as well. So, my instincts were correct. The Fridays are likely to be playing on Tuesday. The Saturdays are likely to be playing on Wednesday. I'm not sure the Champions League goes into Thursday as it did last time. I think it's Europa League, Europa Conference League. So it's back to the traditional European week where the Europa League, Europa Conference League comes on a Thursday. So you have been warned. Watch out for possible slip-ups from these Champions League sides. But they are playing at home today. That's going to advantage them no end, all 3 of them. So that is the prevailing thought you should have in your mind with these Champions League sides. If they cock it up tonight, are they trustable? Because they're going to be making some changes, might be resting some stars, because the Champions League takes on greater importance every season. Paris Saint-Germain against Rennes, on paper, they haven't missed Kylian Mbappe at all, likely to simply outscore Rennes today. Bochum, one of those sides who are probably going to be putting 10-man defence up. It's a must-win for Dortmund. Not had the most eye-catching start to the season just yet. That loss to Stuttgart was awful. So you're going to see an overreaction from Dortmund to that. Bochum might be on the wrong end of a spanking. But they have scored and conceded in the last 3 matches, Bochum. So if they do score first, they look vulnerable. Watch out for a reaction from Dortmund to conceding 5 goals last time. They're going to make it very difficult for Bochum to score, and they must win. AC Milan been in okay nick. This is priced correctly, so no need to investigate further really. Heracles against Heerenveen, newly promoted a couple of seasons ago. 2.45 the favourite. You get the idea with that. Real Valladolid and Mallorca. Well, I would have thought Mallorca's odds would be a tad shorter. Valladolid and Vallecano looking to be the teams you take points off. Let's put it this way, if Sevilla can beat them, they are not very good at all. 3 defeats in the last 4 for Valladolid, but they have been playing good sides, top 10 sides. Real Sociedad 0-0, so that could be on the cards today against Mallorca. Not renowned for their huge goal scoring, but they did score 2 against Betis. A big surprise win, that one for me. Was it a surprise for the market? Indeed it was, 1.85 Betis. So Mallorca coming into this on the back of a very encouraging win. But my concern with them prior to that 2-goal haul is an inability to score that second goal. So we could, not in head-to-head, that's for sure, 3-3. Interesting match. While I'm here, why don't I just pick up my shortlisters? So I'd be doing Paris Saint-Germain, very readable. But in the back of my mind, I'll be thinking Champions League football. So an air of caution tonight. Must make sure that the team put out is as near to the strong first 11 as possible. Let's have a look at some other footy. We have an odds-on favourite, Club Brugge, away at Charleroi. I think Club Brugge let us down with a 4-2 defeat last match. When very strong favourites and when their stats were just going absolutely through the roof. I don't know how on earth we lost money on this one. It all fit. We've got a 0-2 lead for the underdog at half-time. Second goal and own goal, i.e. suggesting it was not deserved. But, of course, Ghent had Gandalf with them to get the 2 goals. So that was a pretty poor performance from a 1.44 shot. So just bear that in mind if you're playing Club Brugge at odds-on today or trusting Club Brugge at odds-on today. They might be not as trustworthy as you think. When I lose money, and their in-play stats were just emphatic. That was what puzzled me. Sparta Prague is likely to be shortlisted for 2.5 goals today. Don't forget, they might be involved in European club football. They have tended to come from behind pre-Champions League in domestic football. So look trustworthy enough. The odds are suggesting goals as well. So let's see if that comes to fruition. One of my favourite sides at the moment, OB Odense, full of goals, full of confidence. Good trade if Colding score first, that's for sure. Wayne Rooney, football genius, hosts Luton today. The odds look about right. You're newly relegated from the Premier League. You're going to have all that experience. Plymouth haven't lit up at all. And let's just hope that there's no grannies in the stand to distract Wayne Rooney, football genius. Tranmere against Salford. Well, I did a little look at this one research-wise for you. 1-0 for Luton Town seems likely, says the research. Got it really good with Frankfurt yesterday with a flirting with 3-1. Tranmere, I'm not sure I could trust these lower leagues. That's my only problem with this. 1-1 draw, both teams to score. 2.2 the favourite. Probably not going to be on any watch list for me. Certainly I will be following this with interest. Taking on Wayne Rooney, football genius. Premier League 2. You've got a natural slant towards over 2.5 goals. And look at the amount of odds on favourites to hopefully back that up. English Professional Development League. What's that for over 2.5 goals as well today? It's a good practice ground. We're coming to a good idea on how to attack these overs markets, but it comes with practice. You make more distinctions if you practice in the real markets. Gnistan and Ula, I don't like the split into the Championship and relegation group in Finland. Not for me. French League 2, Lorient, odds on at home. Get a look in today. We haven't got any of our newly promoted sides. Yes, we do. Martigues at home. Just keep an eye on them. But the market's suggesting they're given a chance here today. The Bundesliga sees Ulm newly promoted. Ulm Are Braunschweig newly promoted as well? Let's have a look. I know Ulm are, and Ulm got a very impressive win last match. Cost me a bit of money, that did, because I took on the newly promoted side. But I should have took them on at 1-3, because there's about 20 minutes to go. And these newly promoted sides in the Bundesliga 2 have been wilting very, very late on. So we go before the friendlies to the last season. No, Braunschweig were 2 Bundesliga 2. So I will star this with an eye on taking on Ulm. I think Fortuna Dusseldorf and Greuther Fürth both newly relegated. Am I correct in that? No, I'm incorrect. Greuther Fürth must have been. They were in the Bundesliga, but not last season. So I think Dusseldorf newly relegated. So again, that's going to be on the watch list. You might see an improved performance from Dusseldorf above expectation because they're newly relegated. And if they've kept a lot of the staff, playing staff, they might be more competitive in this league. Let's have a look at their early season meanderings. Dusseldorf, newly relegated and top of the league. No coincidence? How about that? That's what I'm talking about. We've got newly relegated, likely to be dominant. Newly promoted, likely to struggle. So Bundesliga 2 looks good for trading potential today. Our old pals, Ireland, typical Friday fare. I'm not going to be researching, but I might research in play. Derry, odds on away. Get a look in. Shelburne, odds on at home. Shamrock Rovers tended to be reliable enough. Cork City are their side in the second tier, but looks like they've got a tough encounter today. Athlone odds on. Treaty, it's much of a muchness, the first division. Normally Kerry are gettable and Cork City are reliable, so they'll both get on my shortlist just to monitor this evening. Again, one of our foundations to over 2.5 goal success is the correct choice of the correct match or league in the Dutch Eerste Divisie. It's well known for its goals. We've got 4 odds on favourites out of 5 at home, so that should help the cause no end at 7 o'clock. Don't forget, as ever, on a Friday, I tend to do with both teams to score and, yes, and over 2.5 goal accumulator, just for a bit of fun. Whistler, odds on at home, could be targetable, particularly if they're newly relegated. I think this could be Whistler Plock, and they could have played in the top tier last season. We'll find that out here. Let's go to the back end of last season. No, they were in Division 1, but they're odds on today and they're at home. I do like that configuration. It gives you a natural slant, doesn't it? I'm going to be favouring Whistler unless the in-play stats say otherwise. Big boys out. Sporting Lisbon having an excellent season. Don't forget they're probably involved in European club competition, which is why they're out on a Friday. So just be careful. Any slip-up will come, particularly when they're away from home, just regardless of the odds. I've seen some big boys fall pre-Champions League. So it's a robust enough coupon with 34 hitting the shortlist, but some of them are full leagues. Not all of those will be possible over 2.5 goal plays, but do watch out for these possible coming alive over 2.5 goal. Let's have a look, talking of over 2.5 goal, at yesterday's list. It's nice to see how we get on day after day. So we'll just look at the score lines from yesterday for the 2.5 goals. I think we're getting close to a strategy. 4-0 Ajax, Besiktas, Braga, Maccabi Tel Aviv, 2-1, and called the scoreline as well. So well done. The research. Frankfurt and Poulsen, 3-3. Well, it was 3-1. Did Hugo Larsson score for Frank? Because the research was doing very well yesterday. Hugo Larsson didn't score in the first half. He was on the bench. So we didn't have a chance with that one. We did get a goal before half-time. 38th minute. So this would be perfect for delaying. I say 15 minutes. The rule is the longer you wait, the bigger the odds. Simple as that. So working well so far. Steaua Bucharest and Rigas. I wonder if this went over 2.5 goals. Let's have a look. Oh, 4-1. Let's have a look at the amount of goals before half-time and the starting time at the first goal. 8th minute. Berligi, not reading the script. Alas, had we had that as the first goal, again, we'd have got enhanced odds about over 2.5 goals. So, picking it out really well so far, the research yesterday. Steaua Bucharest and Rigas. Research went for 2-2. Did it hit 2-2 at one stage? No, it didn't. No. Lyon and Olympiacos. Closely contested 2-2 draw. Well, Lyon, Olympiacos didn't light. This wouldn't have been an over 2.5 goal play for me. I don't include Greek sides in over 2.5 goals unless they're 1.2 favourites. And this vindicates me. Took 65th minute for Cherki to get the opening goal. And Said Benrahma, the West Ham man, 71st minute goal. That's a big quality signing for Lyon, that is. So vindicated there. I don't take it on, regardless of what the research says. Okay? No, thank you. When was the goal scored, by the way? Oh, second half, wasn't it? So how would you have played that one? Had you delayed? I don't know. Roma and Atletico Bilbao, I think that ended 1-1. And again, for me, that wouldn't necessarily be an over 2.5 goal match because they're too closely ranked quality-wise, I think. But you're getting a 36-second minute goal. So again, delaying your entry into over 2.5 goals, or if you're lucky enough to get 1.8 about over 1.5 goals, bang, that's your trigger to possibly cash out. The market's saying there's 2/3 of this match to go, and they've already scored one of the goals we need. And that would have been the right choice, wouldn't it? So do you wait for that second goal? That's the question. Espanyol and Villarreal. Well, that went 1-2 precisely as per the research again. So the research making some very good calls yesterday. 2-1 win for Villarreal seems like the likely outcome. And indeed it was. Let's have a look at the timings of the goals. That's vitally important from a trading perspective, particularly that second goal. Well, 45th one, 45th and 6th. You'll be absolutely delighted with that one. If you delayed your entry into over 2.5 goals, you can get nearly double the odds. Once that comes in, you pretty much guarantee yourself a profit. If you were waiting for half time, ka-ching. You'd have got 2 out of the 3 goals. Now, the fact this is a 45th minute goals means do look at this 1.5 goal market. If you can get it up to 1.8, it's well worth doing because that's half the way there now. But with over 2.5 goals, you're only 1/3 of the way there with a single goal. So impressive research yesterday. Very impressed with it. Braga have scored 10 of their 16 goals in the first half. Let's have a look. Well, Davida scored. So we got a goal in the first half. Atletico Bilbao have scored 8 of their in the last 3 games. Inter infer a goal at least. Well, let's have a look. You can't. The problem with this research is largely league football. You can't translate that to a sudden one-off match against an Italian giant. So that's the Achilles heel for the research, regardless of how accurate it has been. We did get a goal before half-time, so it's working, but the goals are going to the other side. Girona and Rayo Vallecano. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, that was the other day, so ignore that one. Leagues and competitions from yesterday. The Landspokal in Denmark. Look at that, 2-3 for that 1.25 favourite. And an under-par performance from FC Copenhagen. But those of you delaying, we would have gone first half goals over 2.5 goals. So that's the second consecutive match it's not come in. And it's no coincidence, the second consecutive cup match. Polish Cup yesterday with lots. But here, you'd have made massive return, backing a 1.06 shot late on. Even 1-0, 2-0 late on, given the odds, you're expecting 5 or 6 goals. So plenty going on there for these shorties. Pre-match odds as an indicator. Eintracht Frankfurt and Poulsen. Well, we've got a 3-3 there. Tottenham 3-0. Avarta and Esbjerg. I think we got a good match there yesterday. 2-3. Not going the going the way of the market. 2-3. FC Copenhagen. A bit lackluster. It was 1.14 earlier, but we only got 2 goals there. And Lech Poznan in the cup. How did they get on? I think this was an early play for me, Lech Poznan. Yeah. With insurance. Now you see why insurance pays off. It looks an obvious play. 1.25 favourite. 2 red cards. Surely they're going to equalise. They didn't equalise. Don't call me Shirley. Take out your insurance. Your insurance here costs £3.80. I didn't take a screenshot, alas. But I hope you see the importance of insurance there. It just covers that 1-0, gets you involved until the death. English Premier League Cup. Oh, fancy that. It's 2.5 goals. 12th minute for the first goal. Oh, so close to getting enhanced odds for over 2.5 goals. Look at this by half time. First half goals 2.5. Well, wasn't really in the cards. But you can see the enthusiasm of these youngsters produces goals, goals, goals. So I was particularly impressed with the research from footballtradingprofits.com yesterday, as far as showing us the way towards goals and some correct scores, potential correct score plays as well. Really good stuff. So I'll be doing another 2.5 goal for you today. Don't forget it's my day off today, so highly unlikely I'll be doing any telegramming. And the last 2 days have been the kind of sessions I'd love. We've got very strong, fancied favourites going a goal down, backable at really solid odds compared to their pre-match odds, and delivering the win. Liverpool Braga, they did it while I was asleep. Fantastic stuff. So that's what I'd love. You could just pick out 2 or 3 a day to get us 40, 50 quid up to 100 a couple of days ago, just with 3 profitable trades. Fantastic. Have a great day today. See you for a live chat webinar tomorrow. And I never say never, but you're highly unlikely to hear from me today live.